Welcome back to Boy Band Break, where we encourage you to take a break from your day and join us in some festive boy band conversation.
Diane, you're just such
My
a
heart didn't
festive
just stop
mood.
there. That's fine.
I forgot to say it, and then I got really excited. Festive!
Well, you
You're
are
like,
wearing.
get excited, festive.
I want it Santa's Way shirt.
I
so
am.
that's cute.
Aw.
Nobody noticed.
I
You
know.
didn't
Guys,
even
I-
tell
I
us the
thought-
memo that we're
Oh,
supposed
sorry.
to wear like.
I'm
these kind of
Chinzia.
things.
Oh,
I'm Sophia.
And I'm Lydia, aka Mama Lou.
Okay.
There was no memo that you had to wear a festive thing, although you're wearing a green sweater, so
true. I thought
That's
you were-
true. Okay.
I'm
whatever.
wearing a Harry Potter hoodie, which I find is very Christmassy.
And they always play Harry Potter on
that's
Christmas.
true.
Because
on
there's
repeat.
Christmas in Harry Potter.
That's true.
It's true. I am wearing black like my soul. Like a piece of coal. I'm dressed up as coal. Okay.
Why are you so excited about this?
I have my I Want It Santa's Way hoodie. It's not a hoodie. It's just a sweatshirt.
Okay, I'm glad you
But-
explained that to me because when I saw it initially, I'm like, is this some sort of sex thing? Like, I didn't get it, so thank you.
It's
Fuzzy, for
it's
putting it.
Backstreet Boys merch. It's
Oh, is it actually official merch?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know if
You
they
guys are hilarious. You didn't know that?
I actually
idea.
don't know if they still sell this because I bought it prior to them releasing like this 2019 merch, so it was like super on sale when I bought it because I don't pay $50 for
I was going to
shirts.
say, I was like,
Girl.
I
man.
know that shit is crazy.
I don't pay $50 for shirts, but
Or that shipping is crazy.
yeah, it was so it was really on sale.
Yeah, that's good.
So
should
like
ship stuff to
this is
Florida.
We should.
what's that?
If there's anything you want to buy recently, just ship it down to Florida and then we'll pick it up when we go for New Year's.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
So like maybe we'll take a picture of us like in front of a Christmas tree with my sweater.
Oh, we have a
Yes!
Christmas tree here.
Ooh, perfect.
I want it
Santa's way. All right, and there's a birthday coming up from One Direction, Louis Tomlinson.
Louis.
He'll be 28. I apologize if I butchered the last name. Thank you very much. Happy birthday.
Sorry, how old is he?
I said 28. Please
Okay,
listen.
and he also, I think, is also releasing a new album. And touring.
Yeah, all the 1D guys are
The
getting
1D
after
guys
it.
like hustle, you know?
Even Zayn.
Even Zayn?
No, not saying.
Suck it, Zayn.
Anyways,
So
Is
the
that
Backstreet Boys are selling a shirt. A sweatshirt that says it's Christmas time again, and it is the
that's
emoji
like
face.
that one they've had out for years though. I like that one too. I would just like to say when I bought this one, it was cheaper than that one.
Yeah, this is $45 right now.
Yeah.
What about the Insane Christmas merch?
No, but the Backstreet Boys released new merch. Where's that?
Yeah, do you see?
Do you think it's under the
The-
fan club one?
The retro shirts. Where's those?
Well, I'm just under the regular store
I thought that was in the regular store.
because I know they have two types: regular merch and fan club merch, right?
Oh shit.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. So they actually released, Lydia, I don't know if you can see.
I cannot see anything, no.
So they've released a whole bunch of sweatshirts
wow.
with their like old school pictures
Oh, boy.
that have Santa'd it up with hats.
That's cute, actually.
And they're all like red and green. Very cute. But they're $50. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I'm not paying $50 for that.
So everything is $50 written in black, but for some reason Howie's is in red.
Oh,
never mind. It was because I was hovering over the
Oh,
picture.
okay.
I'm sorry.
That's amazing.
I was like, are we shading Howie?
No.
But they
Thought you were going to say the Howie's was cheaper, and I was like, burn! But no, okay.
they shoot, what was I going to say? They released limited edition T-shirts probably
With
about a
the
month ago.
exact same
With
pictures.
the same pictures, obviously without the Christmas hats and sweaters. And
obviously they
those
were
ones
big
were only
hits.
available for a day each, but they didn't really like advertise it that much ahead of time. And then at the end, they had you could buy all five. So then some people were like, "What the heck?" Like and all five was cheaper. So people were hoping
because
they would
were
have
like
all
25
five
bucks
sweatshirts.
each, or 100 for all five. So basically, you got one free.
Okay, I was like, wait a minute. 25, 50, 75, 100. Aha! Okay.
Howie free.
Howie's was probably the free one.
Sorry,
no, I'm
Howie.
joking.
We love you.
I don't know if they're still selling this one. Keep scrolling. There it is.
I Want It Santa's Way is $40. Oh,
Yeah.
and then they had this other one they released last year, $100.
Yeah, no one's paying for that.
$100. Is it made out of?
I didn't even pay $40. Don't worry, Mom.
Oh,
Why is this one more? Maybe it's like
Granny's
What is
knitting.
it?
maybe
made
it's
of?
maybe it's not screen printed and
because
maybe
it's
it's like
knitted.
oh, okay,
Oh, that's
gotcha.
okay.
This is just like a screen printed like
not
sweatshirt.
This
worth $100.
knit
I
intricate
love you,
sweater
Backstreet Boys,
features a
but
fun
no.
and festive design, complete with
F
Backstreet Boys
that.
logo.
That's ugly anyways.
An emoji holiday inspired faces.
Brian looks
That's
nuts.
not, who is this one?
That's Brian.
That does not look like
That-
Brian.
That does not look like Brian. It looks
I
like
know.
A weird mix of Chris
Yeah.
and like a mosquito or
a mosquito? Yeah, those do not look.
Do
Like
yourself a
most
favor. Get this one that I have. I'll post it up on our Instagram.
because it is the cheapest.
Well,
there's also It's
Aw,
Christmas
that's
time
cool.
again. Man, not as cute. I like that one better.
Yeah.
yeah, but I think I bought this like not Black Friday, but it was some like major sale they were having. Anyways, it was cheap.
For
I
less than
I
40.
paid $30 for this.
And the shipping was okay, or?
I feel like it was free shipping also that day.
Oh, good.
So
Good job,
yeah.
Dee. Yes.
Look for the sales, people.
Work it, girl.
Work.
You get those sales.
Ooh, there's a BSB 2020 calendar if anybody wants that.
Nah. All right. Let's get into the festivities. We don't have festivities. I'm lying. Listen, I'm tired. 2019 has been draining. It's been a good but long year.
Been
That's
rough,
true.
man.
Yeah.
Samesies.
So I just thought that we could all collectively curl up by a metaphorical fire. Maybe if you're at home, you can curl up
like
by
my
a real
paper.
fire.
Fire.
Set the soundboard on fire.
No, that only happens in the St. Catherine's office.
I hope you hear that fire.
And we're gonna write our Christmas cards because if you follow us on social media,
Yes, we are going to write them.
we put out there for the peoples
The people.
that we would send you a Christmas card, and people actually replied, which
These girls were like, no one's going to reply to us. And I was like, aren't
I
they?
was skeptical. I
and
was
most of them know
very
Chinzia.
grinchy. I will say
And
that.
she knows their address.
Okay, so I am part of a it's called BSB Happy Mail Exchange. It's a group that was 2 or 3 years ago. I can't recall when. But somebody put it out there, said, hey, does anybody want to do Christmas card exchanges?
I used to do it.
And we're like, sure. And I used to do it before with this other group where it was like a Secret Santa thing. And then that was just like a whole disaster because then I would get super stressed out about like making a present. And then
Yes.
the person that I
Yes,
sent it
we
to the one
know.
year, she ended up not sending anything to another person. So then it just messed up the whole exchange. And then it was like, anyways, so this is just cards. And then they also added ornaments last year. But so it's about 30 of us who are in this group. And that's what it started as, was just to send these cards. Then we also did some birthday cards last year, I think. And now it's just kind of like a group chat as well as like a private Facebook page. So anyways, a lot of those girls listen to our podcast. So when I posted, hey, whatever, some of them also were like, hey, yeah, send me one of those too. And I'm like, I haven't sent out the other cards yet, but that's okay. So 2 cards.
Maybe by the time this episode, hopefully by the
no,
time
I'm-
this episode airs, they'll be out.
This will be mailed out this weekend. So hopefully
So-
you'll be opening these cards.
Yes,
as
but we pre-record. You guys know this, so we're gonna write our Christmas cards. Yes,
We're gonna write on Christmas cards.
and while we're writing, we're gonna just, like I said, we're gonna curl up by the metaphorical fire.
Let me get my fire ready.
We're gonna drink some hot cocoa
Let's get our cocoa
or
ready.
apple cider or whatever booze you like to drink.
do people drink eggnog?
Yeah, I feel like people
Maybe.
eat that.
No.
Drink that, sorry.
It's just the
Yeah,
word
drink.
sounds
Sorry,
disgusting.
drink.
People drink eggnog, like
And you're supposed to add alcohol to it?
yeah, like rum.
Okay.
'Cause it makes it bearable.
I don't. Yeah.
I don't know if
I feel like
that's
maybe
the
it just
case,
gets
but
you
I feel
drunk
like
and
I've
you
never
don't
had eggnog.
notice how
I've had
nasty it
eggnog, it's
is.
disgusting.
I may have had like a sip once, but
It's
Not bad.
my one ex
Have you tried it on your Facebook page, like the
No,
Lydia?
but I should.
Oh my god, you
I
should.
should.
Oh my god.
on Lydia's
Remind
Dorkalicious
me.
page?
I have an idea for you about that, so
Okay.
we can talk about it off air because we don't want people to steal it, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I thought of something for you the other day.
Yeah.
Anyways, but eggnog would be good, festive. Anyways,
I
the
was just
point
like,
is,
what are you
What is the
talking?
point
I
of
don't know
this
what I was
Christmas
getting
podcast?
at.
cards?
We're writing our Christmas cards.
what
We're
are we
drinking,
writing?
and then we're talking about more of our favorite memories
Ah.
from our time on Earth as boy band fans.
Why?
And someone had asked back, like, this was like, okay, there's a guy outside. Everyone relax.
He's so handsome.
I
Who's
don't
this
know.
Brandon?
guy?
It's Andrew.
Andrew.
He's
I
on the
thought it was
street team.
Brandon.
No, he doesn't work here anymore. Andrew. He's on the
he
street
was
team.
on.
Yes. It's cute.
Shout
He's
out to
adorable.
Andrew at the street team.
Yes.
Anyways, thanks for letting us use your studios, Bell Media.
Yeah.
Someone had asked back when we did our 1-year anniversary episode, I think, for us to just sort of talk more about ourselves a little bit. And I was like, that's weird. But then I realized that we never really talked about how we all met. We briefly talked about how Sophia and Shinzia met me, but they didn't talk about how they met and like the evolution of our friendship.
The evolution of our friendship.
Over the years.
It has
And
been
again, Lydia's
quite a
panic
friendship.
fit. Like, honestly, I just really would like us to please send us video camera. They still have cameras. Some sort of thing so we can like make this podcast visible so you can see Lydia's
we
face
need
during
a fifth
it.
person to
Maybe
donate.
we-
We just need a Lydia cam.
Oh,
my
yes,
God.
Like-
yes.
What we'll do is we'll set up the camera over there.
Oh.
And you guys can't see where I'm pointing. But there's a space where we could put the camera where it wouldn't get knocked over. And it would be close to Lydia. So Lydia would be like the main face.
No,
and
no,
then
okay. I'm just like, my memory is a little fuzzy. And I'm just like, I know you all. And
Do
I've
you really?
seen you all. But where did I first meet you? I don't know.
I feel
Well,
like
let's
it
reflect
reflects
You
back.
met us through Chinzia.
Yes, but I can't remember a specific. I think it was a Nick Carter thing.
I think so too.
Okay. Anyways,
So-
how are we writing this metaphorical cards? Are we like literally?
We're
writing
not
them?
actually going to write the card. We'll write the cards out.
Lydia, you're ruining the illusion. But no,
Stop
we're not
panicking.
actually
I don't
writing
have
it.
a pen.
Okay. Nobody wants your handwriting. buddy.
That too. Yeah. Sorry.
I think we were just going to kind of shout out to a couple of people that we're sending cards to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh.
I had a list started.
Oh, I didn't get that.
Get the list. And we'll get started on the memories, and we'll shout out to people as we write these cards.
Thank you for doing that. Okay. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Thank you
I'm-
for those quotations.
Okay, so I'm a Gemini, as you all did not know, but I'm telling you now. So Gemini,
Now you're gonna know.
they don't do well with metaphorical stuff. So like, or implied things.
You have to
So-
spell
Is
it
this a
out.
Gemini thing or is this a Lydia thing?
Wait, who else is Gemini? You're Gemini too, aren't you?
No, I'm Pisces.
What are you?
Same. Our
Same?
birthdays are 2 days apart.
Who, me and you?
No.
No.
Oh,
Sophia and I.
Okay.
You would know that.
Yes, because we're best friends. Shinzia is a Virgo.
What?
So yeah, I'm very Gemini-ish. So as I would be,
You?
because born. Anyways, what I'm trying to say, I don't understand
Basics.
basic. I don't understand like when things are implied. You need to tell me like straight up because I don't get it.
All right.
So there we go.
There is
Thank you.
no actual fire in this room.
I just used the
I
In
know,
fact,
I
I
know.
actually feel like the air conditioning is on. I don't know. I'm just like,
It was really hot in here earlier, and now it's kind of cold, and I like it.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Oh, you put
Okay.
a sweater on.
yeah, I think I left it at my desk, so we're not going to do that. Moving on.
Okay, so
Okay.
moving on, we're going to talk about how did you and Sophia meet, Shinzia? Because I feel like that was the first thing.
Okay, well, the
step.
first thing was how Shinzia and Lydia met.
Oh, yeah.
I came out of my damn vagina saying hello.
You said hello as you came out? Like,
Wow, you waved?
I was a third kid, so hello everybody. I just walked out there swinging a cane.
So
I'm kidding. I love you, Mom. I'm sorry.
I don't actually recall when I met Lydia, but apparently, according to my mom, the cutest story ever was when Lydia came home from the hospital and I was holding her, and allegedly we were taking a picture with my brother, myself, and Lydia, and then I said, "Oh, look, we're like a little family, a mommy, a daddy, and a baby." And I was like, "This is not
you
cute."
the baby?
That's what I said. I've
Time.
always thought this was a creepy story because
It is
I'm
kind
like,
of a creepy
I am not
story.
dating my brother. Like, this is
Nasty.
weird. But I was like, it's so cute. I was like, it's not a cute story. So that's, but yeah, I
Cringe is too much.
don't know. I just feel like Lydia has always, she hasn't always been there, I guess. When I was 3 years old.
Dick. Oh.
Because you're younger than me.
Oh.
How have you been?
I thought you're like, she hasn't always been there. I'm like, excuse
God.
me. I
she
just pick
doesn't
up the
mean
call.
like emotionally. She means
Oh.
there was a time when she was
I
alive.
physically
and
was
you were
not.
alive.
I was swimming and not.
She had 3
human.
years of life.
3 and a
before
half-ish
you.
years before you appeared.
Yes. Sorry, I thought.
I don't recall my life before you being there.
Yes,
I
fair.
just always recall you in my life.
Oh,
Okay.
guys.
Her life
Okay.
didn't really start till you were born.
It's true.
That's when happiness began.
She's crying. She took out her tissue to wipe her tears.
It's dry eye, you bastard.
Sure, dry eye. Cutting onions. Okay, so yes, so Lydia has been a part of my life. Lydia went to my first boy band concert with me. We went to go see Hanson.
Yes, we did.
I think I was around 14-ish, so Lydia would have been around 11.
Yeah,
we also did a lot of band bonding. There weren't really boy bands. We went to go see Serial Joe. We'd camp out in Toronto.
We were in music videos
So we'd always go to a lot of concerts together and things like that. So that's how Lydia and I became friends.
Well, this was like Mom's thought process was like, I'm not going to let Shinzia go alone. I'll make it'll be safer if she takes the dumber younger sister. I would literally run into highways. I would hide
as
in
a
closets,
child, as a baby,
child,
not as a teenager.
Not as a teenager. Well, no, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So I don't know where Mom's line of thinking was there.
I don't, because we live about an hour away from Toronto, and there's like a GO bus, that Government of Ontario bus, and it takes you from Hamilton to Toronto, and whatever. So when I was about 15 is when I started getting into music and going to concerts and stuff, and then my mom was like, "You're not going alone. Take Lydia." So then Lydia would come with me to things, and that was her thing. She's like, "I don't want you to be alone. Please watch your younger sister and go to these things."
I don't know where the logic was.
Whatever.
No, I feel like it's sound logic
It makes
because
sense,
guess
because
'cause
then
you're
you know
with
that I'm
someone
not
at
going to do anything
least.
stupid because I'm
and
watching
I
her.
feel like as an older, I am an older sibling, but my mom and my Auntie Lisa used to be like, everybody has to watch Emma, because Emma was like a 4 years younger than us cousin, and because you feel like you're looking after your little whatever, like hold Emma's hand,
So
you're being more responsible.
Yes.
I think it was probably in a parenting book
And I also
somewhere.
feel like it's like a very different maturity levels for sure, because I was very mature for my age, and I was knowledgeable of where I was, and I could read maps, and I could see
Shinzia's so good
whatever.
at all
And
that.
then no offense, but if Lydia was the older
Oh,
one,
God, no.
I feel like perhaps
No.
it wouldn't have worked out that way.
Shinzia knows where north is at all times.
Not at
Like-
all times, but I can figure it out.
It's like,
So-
Shinzia, okay. I
have a very good sense of direction.
She does.
I'm going to gush over Shinzia for a minute. 'Cause I was
Aw.
no.
Everyone get your tissues.
Okay. Chinzia has always been very smart and very bright. All the boys loved Chinzia. You had... It's true.
Hashtag single my whole life, so this is brand new news.
No, okay, but listen, the quality of men who liked you were not great. Okay. But there was... it was there.
Is this a nice thing or a roast?
No. It's a roast. Oh, my God. We should do a roast episode one
Okay,
time.
we will.
Okay.
No.
Not for Christmas,
Not
but
for
one
Christmas,
day.
no.
Okay.
Anyways, Shinzia has
April
the beautiful
Fool's Day.
Italian olive skin.
jeez.
The shape of her breasts are
Oh
round.
my God,
They're
Lydia.
great. Anyways, you're fabulous. And I'm always like
Lydia has always been taller with pure white skin and long fingers and just very
Thank
tall.
you.
Yes.
Anyways, but Shinzia has always been like, yeah, let's go see boy bands. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. So a lot of
And
my...
because our mom didn't get to do stuff when she was younger, she's like, sure, you can do whatever you want.
And we're like, yay!
So
And we didn't really rebel at all because
No,
mom's
but
just
she-
like, you want to go concert? Go ahead. We're like,
No.
yay!
That she did make me get a job after a while because she's like, this is costing me money. You go get a job and then you can go to these bands. We're like, all right. So
Yeah,
then
yeah.
that's literally why I got a job, so I could go to concerts and stuff.
I was gonna say samesies. I started babysitting when I was 13 because I was like, I need Backstreet Boys money.
Give me the extra money. I think it was not cheap back then. It
No,
was like,
it still was not.
no, it was brutal.
This is why I snuck into a concert in '99.
Yes, that's how she got to her first Backstreet Boys
That was
concert.
the first. You know this. It was on
No,
the
your
podcast.
cousin took you
Yeah,
Yes,
He
she
snuck her
us
in.
for free.
for free.
Yes,
We had
I don't remember that part. I remember you went to the concert with your cousin because your cousin's cool.
yes, because the cousin's boyfriend worked there and let them into the venue.
Oh, I missed that part. Oh my God, that's awesome. Okay.
Yes.
I don't
Anyways,
think Lydia remembers
you gotta
anything.
Anyways,
Lydia's
sorry.
had a long
I like
time.
Chinzia. Thank you for
Anyways,
your.
Thank you for always being there and being a good sibling.
Thank
no
you.
offense to our older brother, but
Well, he's
suck
kind of.
it.
Okay.
He's not listening to this podcast.
No, he never
let's be
listens to
serious.
anything we do. I literally did.
We did a play last year, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
2 years ago.
It was tea time with Chinzia and Lydia, and it was literally because we had entered the Fringe Festival. We didn't get chosen. And then a week before the Fringe Festival opened, they're like, hey, there's a spot available. Do you want to do
Somebody
it?
dropped out.
We're like, sure, okay. And Lydia's like, what is wrong with you? We don't have time to write a play. So we're like, we'll just wing it. So then we just dressed alike and
roasted our
dad and mom and brother. But mostly
funny.
Mostly your dad.
Mostly our dad because he's hilarious.
Oh my God,
But yeah, my brother.
Good time.
And then the very last one, we actually filmed it and we kind of ad-libbed a bit more and Facebook Lived it and was like, Rico's a douchebag and whatever. And then it came up in Facebook Memories and he watched it and he was like, hey guys, do you really think I'm a douchebag? We're like, no.
Oh, really?
We're like,
I thought the point of this story was that he never saw it.
He saw it a year later when it came up as a Facebook memory, apparently.
Well, I literally did an interview at like our local college and like gushing about how my brother was like my influence with video games or whatever. And I'm like, Rico, you should listen to this. I talk about you a lot. He's like, meh, I got better things to do. And I'm like, you are a penis, sir.
He's also our older brother, but we always like, for some reason, he invites us out to lunch or whatever, and then we have to pay for him. Like it somehow always works. We're like, okay, sure.
Got my wallet. It's like, you left your house without your wallet. Like how? Like you check you're a guy. Every time you leave your house, you check
the
for your
older
penis
sibling
and you check
is
for your
supposed
wallet
to
and
take
you
care of the younger.
You do the double tap, go.
Phone, wallet, keys. Phone, wallet, keys. Adam Sandler thing.
Yes,
Yeah,
that was actually
so
really
good.
I watched that. That's you should look it up, guys.
Thank you.
Anyway,
for
that's how Lydia and I
music.
met. And so I guess Hanson would have been our first concert. The first boy band we met would have been the Moffats at
the
Walmart Gate.
Yeah, Walmart Gate. that was
fiasco in the
They didn't want to hire security guards, so they just put up a wall of toilet paper and detergent and hoped that was fine. And
it was not.
It was catastrophic.
And then we like followed the band Serial Joe around for a while, and we're in a bunch of music videos and stuff like that. So met some. I think that's actually the first band where we met other friends through the band by going to concerts and events. That's how we made friends from that. So moving on to that, that's how we met Sophia. So 2009, November 14th. I know this specific day.
10-year anniversary.
It was 10 years.
It was 10 years the other day. I specifically know this day because I used to work at Country 95.3, and we flipped formats on Friday the 13th, and I worked reception, and people were very mean and horrible to me, and I was super depressed and everything.
Aww.
And the next day was this event, and I'm like, I don't want to go. And then I kind of forced myself to go, which is great because otherwise I would not have met Sophia. So what had happened was I was part of the Backstreet Boys fan club.
I was also part of the fan club.
Again, we've established earlier that I was more of an NSYNC outside NSYNC fan in high school. NSYNC had broken up. Backstreet Boys were still doing their thing. So I decided to join their fan club. And then a girl named Erin decided to reach out to a bunch of fans from Southern Ontario and said, hey, do you guys want to meet up for dinner in Burlington? So I was like, sure, I like dinner. Why not? So I agreed to it. And I guess like 8 people had agreed, but ended up only 4 of us showed up. So Erin, Lindsay, myself, and Sophia. So it was Tucker's Marketplace, and yes, that's where we met for the first time.
Yes,
and I probably wasn't in the greatest state of mind because I was kind of depressed about my job, but it was
you
fun.
You were okay.
It was good. Yes.
Yeah.
So
until you met, and then like, what was the next? Like, what kind of happened after that?
So we had the dinner. Then we
obviously liked each other.
Did we actually go mini golfing? I can't remember.
We went mini golfing.
And then for some reason, even though Sophia lives in Toronto, I drove her home. Like,
was that? That was.
So at the beginning of our friendship.
This is because Chinzia, speaking of Gemini and all that, Chinzia is type 2 and would literally chop off her own arm and give it to someone if they asked for it.
Yes.
Aww.
And even though I hate driving on the Gardner
Express,
it was
very nice to do that.
Oh my God. Well, I think the buses or the trains had stopped running at that point because we were chatting for so long.
That and we went after we did mini golfing.
We were just kind of like hanging out and taking pictures and stuff like that. So
obviously they liked each other. They weren't fuck you, I'll never see you again.
But I feel like after
we stopped
that,
a little bit. I think
we
for a
didn't
couple
really
months.
talk after that.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, meh, I met these people, whatever. And I just like, because then it's like, because November, the December, Christmas, all this other stuff's going on, like whatever. So
and then the Nick pendant thing happened in August.
So we didn't see each other until the following August.
Of 2010. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't think did we chat at all online?
I feel
maybe like a little bit
maybe here or there, but not
I
much.
kind of just like meh.
Because I feel like we all were busy.
Yeah, because whatever life happens, whatever. Yeah. Backstreet Boys weren't really doing a lot at that point.
Well, they released the album and everything
Yeah, I
because
guess
they were
they
already
would've done
touring to support This Is Us.
So then that came out. So Nick did this lovely independent movie.
15-minute movie called The Pendant.
Just 15 minutes, eh?
And you guys planned to go together, or
No.
you just saw
So
each
this
other?
is-
So this is
what
also,
happened.
yeah.
So I'm looking at it and I'm like,
This
do
is
I
when
wanna
$80
go to
was
this?
like,
And
we thought it was expensive.
$80 to
thought it was
go
expensive.
and see this movie, get a copy of the movie, and
Q&A.
meet Nick or something.
And there was a
And
Q&A.
and I was like, $80. I don't know. Blah blah blah. And I don't think I had met Nick Carter at this point.
Yes, you had, because you had met all of them
Oh,
at the previous tour.
Yeah, the Unbreakable
but
tour.
not Kevin.
Yeah.
But not Kevin.
Yes,
Sorry.
and that was
Actually, that was
expensive.
where I went as well.
So Sophia and I didn't even know we were at the same event
know,
together
it's
because
small world.
they oversold it shockingly, and there was like 400 people there, and it was just. It left such a bad taste in my mouth because it was so rushed. The security were so mean.
Did I
That
come-
was the meet and
did I
greet
come
that we
with you?
went. Yes.
Oh my god, that was 30 seconds long.
It was horrible.
Okay,
Like,
so
they were
I had
still,
a
like,
different
so I was just like,
experience than
screw
you
this.
did.
Like, this was like, I was just annoyed with the Backstreet Boys at this point. So when this came around, sure, it was cheaper than that meet and greet, but I was just like, meh, is it going to be like this other stupid meet and greet? Blah, blah, blah. I asked Lydia if she wanted to come. She was like, nah, not really. Or
Well,
you
like
were
I was
working.
just so annoyed from that meet and greet. I even had like one person on my Facebook who's like, "It looks like you're photoshopped with the Backstreet Boys." I'm like, "This was not a Photoshop, you bitch."
Yeah, it was just like, it
that
left
was
a bad
also
taste in my
back in
mouth.
the days where they used to stand behind a fence.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
Nope, they came in front of it.
Yeah, because Nick's
They
back
came in
was
front-
hurting
'cause
him for
Nick's-
the first four
So
photos.
people were
and then,
so mad that was the Toronto store was the first time they came in front of the barricades.
Oh, okay.
So we actually were in front of the barricades with them.
But they did used to do
security
that.
was trying to like kick me
Yeah,
out.
they
I'm
used to
getting
do
them
that,
to
yeah.
sign like when I was on the front page of the Toronto Star to see them, and they're signing it, and they're like, "Please leave." I'm like, "They're literally still signing my thing," and he's just like yelling at me, and I was just like, "Dude."
oh, that was Marcus.
And then when I was walking away, one of the security at the venue, she was all like, "But did you have a good time?" Like, no. And I was like so angry. So then this Nick thing comes up like a year and a half later, and I was just like, do I want to go? I don't know. Nick is obviously my favorite, so
It was like 2 years later.
so
but
like
whatever.
literally like the day before, I was just like, all right, fuck, let's buy this. And I didn't even think to reach out to any of like Sophia and everybody else because I was just like, whatever. So then I go by myself, whatever, drive to downtown Toronto, and then I get in there, and then I think you saw me
Yeah,
first.
so I was with Aaron, Sarah, Lindsay, and Tracy.
So were you guys still talking then?
Yeah, we were talking.
So yeah, I guess I really didn't go on
Burn.
the
They just
fan
didn't
club.
like Chinzia.
Which is Cynthia didn't even talk to us
Well,
either.
no offense, but when I was just like, these freaking weirdos, I don't want to hang out with them again.
Hey, takes one to know one because you got there eventually.
So I get there and I was like, oh, these are people that I've met before. Because I was just like, I went by myself. Like I couldn't drag anyone else to go because nobody else wanted to pay money.
Sorry.
No, not
$8
even
a lot
you,
of
but
money
even
back
like
then.
Gina, Olivia, nobody else wanted to come. They're just
Okay,
like, we
did
don't
they
care
ever-
about the
did
Backstreet
they ever
Boys.
come,
Like,
though?
no.
Okay.
And they're like, we don't pay money to see celebrities. We're like, whatever. So, anyways, when we were there, then I did sit with you guys, I think.
No, you were in the other
By
seating
myself?
area. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was behind you and you were in front of me, and then we were chatting all about like everything that was going on.
Because I feel like I was frazzled. I probably got there like slightly late, shockingly. And then
Chinzia?
put my stuff down and then whatever. So then we were
Yeah.
talking for a bit. And then
And every time like we would see them like something happening in the movie, we would turn to each
Then
other.
I
and
would
we, like,
turn around and
laughing.
look at
so It's
Sophia.
literally you and I are like dying laughing.
we're dying.
in this
Everyone's
movie.
like watching this movie like it's serious, but like
we're, like,
I can't
dying.
even remember. Nick said like some stupid line or like he didn't call. We're like, call 911.
Oh my God, yes.
because his
His
girlfriend's
girl-
like
yeah.
bloody and murdered, and he's
And
just like,
oh my
"No,"
gosh, and
like,
he's like
hitting his
sliding
head.
down the door
And we're
of
just
the
like,
washroom.
We're like, what the hell
maybe
is this?
call 911.
And we're just killing ourselves laughing. But like, obviously, the other people are like, oh, it's Nick on the screen, and they were just like so happy to see him. And we're so
like, dying,
apparently
yeah.
us making fun of Nick started back then.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so then afterwards, when we went to go take the pictures, they're like, we need groups of 4, blah blah blah, and our friend Erin, who was like crazy Nick obsessed, and her sister
Wasn't it
wanted
the first
to just
time
be in
she
it.
got a solo pic with him.
I think so, yeah. So I don't think she's
Solo-ish.
ever met him. So they're just like, we want to just take the two of us. So then we just started laughing hysterically, as we
Yes.
do, and pretended that we didn't know them because they were in front of us, right? So we were just kind of like, ah. So then, and we were talking to people behind us. So by the time they got up there, Justin was getting was it Justin?
Eddie.
Was it? Who was
Justin was taking the
Justin
picture.
So it was
taking the
Eddie.
Justin didn't really care, so they just let the two of them go. which is fine.
I just stepped back because I was gonna go with them, and I just stepped back, and I was like, "No, it's okay."
No, because then we're not going to be beside Nick.
Yeah.
So then it was us, and then Tracy and Lindsay.
Yeah.
So then we went.
Lindsay
in.
was sitting beside you,
Yeah.
and Tracy was sitting beside me.
So Sophia went in first, and
I gave him a hug, and I was like, "Great movie."
And she's like, even though I'm sorry, I laughed, especially when you did this. And she's like showing when
I did the action.
Oh my God, it was hilarious! Like she was like hitting her head like Nick did in the movie, and he's like,
it's okay,
it's fine. So then Chinzia being Chinzia, then went to go he was sitting down in the chair. And by the way, I was very upset that we did not get popcorn. I'm like, if we're watching a movie in a theater, we should be having popcorn. Just saying.
One would think.
Yes. So anyway, I went to go say hi or give him a hug or something, and I ended up stepping on his foot and tripping, and then I fall, and then I didn't want to fall on him, so I went to go fall backwards. Then I somehow fell backwards into the chair beside him, which is fine, but the chair then leaned back, so I was just like, what?
I would like to point out that this meet and greet, he was sitting in the movie theater seats, they put him up at the front. And he never got up to greet anyone. It was kind of awkward. He just stayed sitting down the whole time.
So you're hugging into an awkward.
So then I have now fallen because I'm thinking, wait, I'm not going to go to the other side of Sophie. That's probably why I tripped.
Yes.
Because I'm like, fuck, I want to sit beside Nick. Screw these other two girls. Yes. So then that's why I kind of tripped backwards and fell into the chair awkwardly. And then I don't even think he noticed
didn't
it.
even
And then the other two girls said hi, whatever. We took our picture. And
I leaned in. That was my first leaning in picture.
And I saw Sophia lean in, so then I was going to lean in, but because it was so delayed reaction, I didn't. It was just kind of like a smidge. And then we go say bye, and then we kind of hug again. And I was like, oh, see you on the cruise. And he's like, or tomorrow at the concert. And I was like, right. But then I was like, I don't have a meet and greet with you tomorrow. I don't have. But it was just pretty funny because I was like,
that's funny.
Yeah. So I totally forgot that I was going to a concert the next day, and then whatever. So that was kind of so then from there
we started.
Then we started talking and hanging out more.
And then we went on the cruise together.
Yes. So
no,
we were.
That was a different one.
No, I think that was the cruise with Lydia.
Nope.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was.
The first because Sophia was supposed.
My dad passed away 2 weeks before, so I couldn't go. Yeah,
so that's why she didn't go.
Yeah,
but I feel
we were talking.
Because I put a sign up there for for Sophia, and somebody ended up being next door to your roommates.
I know because I was with Janae, Lindsay, and Amanda, and all these other people.
Yeah, so it was interesting. So then from there, I guess we just started chatting more.
Yes. And hanging out.
I don't know if email or I don't actually know how we were hanging out.
I want to say email and text. I feel like we were
probably
texting
something
as well.
like that.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
So Diane was also at that event, and
I was.
We did not recognize her, and she didn't see us. So I guess.
Well, I didn't know you at all. Exactly. Didn't know you existed as a person.
Exactly.
I might have been talking to Sophia at that time. Maybe not.
I feel
Maybe
like we were talking on Live Daily, but a little bit.
I didn't know Live Daily
I definitely
not as point. Oh, I know. I would have recognized.
That's what I'm
were,
saying. If we were talking, it was we were talking on Live Daily. I wouldn't have known what she looked like.
Right.
So I could have been any of these people could be Sophia.
But I feel like that was a lot. Even Nikki was there and Jen.
You're looking at me like I have any idea what Live Daily is, and I I know you guys reference it all the time.
Oh, I didn't talk to any single person aside from Justina, who was with me. Her and I just talked to each other. I didn't talk to anyone else.
Was this your first time meeting Nick as well?
It was my first time meeting any celebrity ever.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Oh, no, that's a lie. Sorry, I met O-Town before this. But that was 10 years before this. So it was my first time meeting a Backstreet Boy ever.
I forgot how obsessed with Nick Diane was.
Yes.
Still is sometimes.
Still is, but panic doesn't speak.
Yeah. That I definitely talked about this experience on the podcast before. I think it was back last year in November. So if you want to check that out, you can go. But couldn't speak. I blacked out essentially. I don't even remember what happened.
She doesn't remember meeting him.
So, and I couldn't feel my legs. I was losing it.
So even if she did know who we were, she wouldn't have.
You also saw Brian that night too, right?
Yes. And then we went out to dinner afterwards. They didn't mention it. So these guys, I guess maybe you had more experience or whatever. Justina and I walked in and we surveyed the movie theater area.
Which is what I generally do at most events.
And all of these people, including you guys, I assume, for some reason decided to sit very close to the screen.
The reason why we did was because they were doing a Q&A after, so I wanted to be closer for the Q&A.
And I didn't think of that at the time.
I was also with people, so I'm just like, sure, we can sit wherever you want.
I didn't think of it at the time, but I was just like, why are they all wanting to sit at the front? That's so weird. And then we were like, why is this section roped off? That's where they're going to sit. So we sat like directly beside that.
Which we would have done.
Yeah.
But we didn't know each other.
I was just like, meh, whatever.
Anyways, so we sat directly beside that. So then like Howie and AJ were also at the event.
I know why. They were saying don't sit directly in front of this roped area.
Yeah, we sat beside it.
Yeah, but I think it was like blocked off for some reason.
It wasn't.
Okay. Anyway.
I sat there. Anyways, and so, yeah, we were sitting right beside. So like we kind of like when Nick was doing his Q&A, we were like, Howie, like, you know? And then, yes. And then, so then we left. And I remember Justina was like, oh, because her favorite is Brian. And so she was like, oh, the only thing that would have made that better is if Brian was there. Like, I wish Brian was there, da-da-da. Anyways, we take off. We go to this birthday party at this restaurant that's, like, in a very expensive part of downtown. And we're sitting there. And I see who I then realized later, Leanne and Bailey, who was, like, a kid. This was 2010, you know.
Wow.
And
he was, like, 5 or 6?
7.
And I was like, why do I know that lady? That lady looks so familiar. And I was like, I recognize her kid too. Who is that? And then all of a sudden, Brian came, and I was like, holy shit, it's Brian. Anyways, that was cool.
Spoiler alert, they did not get pictures.
Spoiler alert, we didn't get pictures.
Her phone died.
Did I tell this story?
I feel like you have, yeah.
Yeah. My phone was dead.
Story, though.
He said, he was like, calm down, I'll take pictures with you after. But then we were too chicken to go up to him after. Anyway, this is
And
the
then
whole
you
thing.
saw on Twitter,
Sophia
he had
and I
actually
would not
said,
have been that
yeah.
chicken. We would have gone up after.
Were you guys outside though?
No, we weren't.
There was a
there.
whole bunch of people outside
No,
the
we
restaurant.
went out.
We
I
were
think
there.
we went out for like pizza.
Yeah, we
or
went out for
something.
pizza.
And then
No,
I
we went for
remember
dinner.
driving multiple people in my car, and it was very
Didn't we
painful.
meet up with Sarah too?
I think so.
Like your friend
possibly.
Sarah from
I think
Howie's
so.
thing?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like
Anyways,
I met so
that's
many
not
people.
when we met.
No,
No.
I'm like,
So
this is
anyways,
a tangent completely.
What? We go on a tangent? That's crazy.
All of
basically
the,
our friendship.
The only point of this was that even though we were all three at this event, we didn't know they knew each other. I didn't know them. I might have been talking to
Yeah, I
Sophia
think
a
we were just
little
talking
bit,
a little bit.
but I definitely didn't even like know what she looked like.
Correct.
This was literally the second time I met Sophia.
Yes.
So.
So then you guys, I guess, continued to hang out and do things, and then we have briefly talked about in the Nick Carter solo episode that he did a signing at HMV,
In Toronto.
and that's how I met you guys.
Yes, because Sophia's like, oh, I think that's my friend Diane. I'm like, how do you think that's your friend?
Well, I've
And
never
she's
met
like,
her.
I've
I
never
just
met
talked to
her
her.
before. I'm like, okay.
Because Jenny, our other friend, was like, you should go
From West
to
Virginia.
the HMV signing.
Well, I wanted
Sophia
to
is
go.
there.
I wanted to go. I think we talked about this. I wanted to go, but nobody would go with me. Kind of like your pendant thing.
See, this is it. This is why you need to get out of your house, people, even if no one wants to go with you.
Exactly.
And
That's
so
why you need
then
friends.
I wasn't gonna go, and then Janae was like, "You have to go. It's literally a free signing. Like you can meet him for free. Like this is stupid. You have to go." And so she was like, Sophia's going to be there. Just hang out with Sophia. And I was like, I don't even know her. Like, this is going to be weird. She's not going to want to hang out with me. And then
It was
so
literally
then
not weird at all.
Janae messaged Sophia to be like, can Diane hang out with you?
And then I was like, yeah, of course.
And
Sophia is a very welcoming person.
so then I was like, okay, this is so
Thank you.
weird. And I made my friend Erica come meet me, and like we went to eat and then came back because I was like, just in case these people are weird.
Which we were.
Which they totally were.
We were
Still came back. That's a
100%
great
weird.
friendship right
so,
there.
like, we were so bored. I changed
were
the
literally
CD
there
from
for
I'm
10
taking
hours.
off to I'm taking off my pants. And then we made,
made
signs
signs
for Mike.
for the lawyer,
and
Jason Turner.
They had
And
a $1 bill that they
We
were
were like, "Ooh, I'm taking off my pants."
took
And we're
pictures
like, We went
upstairs.
up to where like the table was where Nick was signing. We pretended we were famous and we're
was
signing
very
things.
entertaining.
So like, I can 100% understand why Diane would be like, "Who the fuck are these weirdos? I don't want to hang out with them." And we were just like,
But
"Oh,
she
this
came back,
girl is
so
quiet
obviously
and
we're
hanging
doing
out."
something.
We
right?
were making jokes and making people laugh. There was like, I don't know.
it was okay. The most awkward part for me was when you guys were like, there's someone's stapling signs outside with Nick's face on them, and like half the line left to go steal the signs. And I was like, what is going on? Who are these people?
No, I think I stayed.
And then like Shinsuke came back with like 20 signs, like, here you go. I was like, okay, I guess I'll keep this.
I know, we were like following behind the people who were putting up the we really shouldn't have taken that advertisements down, but they like put advertisements on like poll. They were going to come down eventually.
Come on, we just helped them out a little.
And then I think he was at Much Music, and we didn't want to lose our spot, so we didn't go. And one of the person's daughter got to go, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways.
We just didn't do that. We just hung out.
And then
There was a lady making a sandwich in the store.
She literally had a jar of
sandwich,
mayonnaise. Like, oh my gosh, yeah.
There was a
No
lady
joke.
from
She had,
Buffalo.
like,
She like, I guess she thought we were going to be waiting outside, but because it was rainy or something, they let us wait inside the store. So she like had packed like a cooler bag, and she had like bread and like stuff, and then she took out a jar of mayonnaise and a knife, and was like, the jar was almost empty, but I was just like, who is this? And I had just gotten Twitter, and I was just like, there's a crazy lady.
You two followed each other, and then that happened, and then you're like, oh my gosh, and then you're
I was
like,
just
oh my god,
crap, now I have to. How do I delete a tweet like about this woman with the mayonnaise jar? Like,
Oh my god, it was great.
I was just like, I don't
was a
understand
fun day.
technology.
And
was
then
worth the 10
literally
hours.
the next week. So in 2011, Nick was in Toronto like so much for some reason.
Oh, so
Yeah,
much.
Nick
Howie
anyways.
too. Howie too.
Yeah. And so he literally like a week later or 2 weeks later, he had a show that you could only you had to pay
the
like
revival show.
$150 for a ticket or something, or you could win them. And it was like
I feel
literally
like you could only win them, couldn't
Yeah,
you?
you
No.
can only win them.
they sold like a very limited
Oh,
amount.
okay.
So they sold out in like minutes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And they were soups expensive.
Yes.
But most of the tickets, I would say like 80% of the tickets you had to win.
Yes. So,
So-
we entered a bunch of contests,
Yes.
and Sophia won twice.
And I never win
Which,
anything.
But it's I'm not going to ruin the magic here, but I may have to do with the fact that you live in Toronto, and they thought you
probably,
would pick up your
but
tickets.
I don't give a shit because
Yes.
that's 2 times that I won.
So you won. So anyway, so because she won twice, she won 4 tickets.
Yes.
But technically 3, I guess, because she was supposed to be her and plus 1.
Yeah.
So we were able to switch her name. She switched to me.
Yeah,
I
and
think.
Diane, and then I gave one to Nikki.
Yes. So that's
'Cause
it.
I was
So the
being
4 of
nice.
us. Yeah.
So nice.
So that's when we ran into Diane again, and we're like, oh, hey, we're here.
Well, yeah, I remember.
No, I messaged Diane and I
She
was like, "Do
texted
you
me.
want to
Because I guess
come?"
we hadn't. She had my number at this point, or whatever.
Yes.
From
I
what,
feel
whatever.
like you invited me first.
It doesn't
Possibly.
matter.
I
does
think
it?
she won the first contest.
It doesn't matter.
taking
You both
you.
came.
No.
It doesn't matter. You both came.
No, I'm just saying because she only won it first, and or
yeah,
maybe
so I won it first,
and
from
then you won like the
UT
next day from the other-
Entertainment Tonight
from
Canada or
Sony
whatever.
Music, I want to say. or-
No, Universal.
Universal,
something.
yeah, because Eric was.
And then I got a DM, and I was like, okay, so I took you, and then I won again on the radio station Virgin 99.9, and I was like texting Diane, do you want to
Yes.
come?
And I remember being like, oh my God, like, are you sure you don't want to take any of your other friends? Because we literally met like a week before.
And I was like, no, because you're a huge
And
Nick
that's what
Carter
she said.
fan.
Yeah.
And
She's
I was
like, I know how much you love Nick, and I want to take someone who actually like really likes Nick. I guess because none of these other people really liked Nick. I don't really
they
know.
liked
Well, to
other
be
ones.
fair, I feel like there was not a lot of Nick fans.
Oh,
I don't
whatever.
know.
Well, there was a lot of, and other people were also winning them too.
Anyways,
I don't
so
know.
I was just like, oh my God, okay, of course I will go. Because I was just like resigned myself to the fact that I wasn't going to go. So then that was cool, and we hung out after that. But then after that, like we kind of, that was August, right? Of 2011.
Yeah.
And then
Yep.
we didn't really see each other then until Nick was on tour for I'm Taking Off. You guys are looking
I
at me
thought we
like
went.
I'm crazy.
No, I thought we did the cruise first. We
No,
saw
the
you on the
cruise
cruise.
was in December.
So when
His
did Nick
tour
do it?
was in November.
Oh, his tour is in November.
right.
Was this the 3-day tour?
Right, you
Yes.
were in
This
Mississauga.
was
You made a
Mississauga.
shirt with your friend.
yeah,
We
okay.
saw you.
So
You were in the front row. He touched your hand, or both of your.
This is the one where it was
Yes,
Belleville and then also
Mississauga, Belleville, and Montreal.
Montreal.
So I feel like we had a side conversation. Okay, and at one point I think it was just the Montreal tickets were available, right?
Yes.
They came up first, so they were on a Saturday. So Sophia's like, "Do you want to go? It's a Saturday, Montreal." I was like, "Sure." So we buy that, and then they announced the Mississauga one.
No,
like-
they did Belleville next.
No, I feel like Belleville.
Yeah,
was
they
last.
did. Because you know why? Because the Montreal came up, and Janae was like, you want to go to this Montreal thing? I was like, nah, too far. Because this was before I traveled. I was like, nah,
Silly.
too far. She was like, I kind of want to go. I was like, nah, I'm not doing it. Right? And
I
then
thought Belleville was third.
No, and then Belleville came up, and
So
she was
then-
like, "Do you want to do this?" And I was like, "Fine." I was like, "I guess it's only like 2 hours away."
And at this point, Sophia and I were like, well, okay,
Might
it's
as
on
well.
the way. Might as well
Sure.
take the day off
Why
on the
not?
Friday and go.
And then he announced the Mississauga one, and I was like, "Son of a bitch! I could have just bought these Mississauga tickets."
Yes,
Because
okay,
then
yes.
Diane's like, it's 10 minutes from my house. What the heck? So, yes.
Literally.
And that's where we met Jenny for the first
Yes.
time. Have you
I
had
met her in
before?
New York City at the Highland Ballroom.
So yeah, so
I
I
took
didn't
a
know
bus,
Jenny,
12
and then
hours.
they're like, "Hey, can our friend stay at your house?" And I was like, "Sure. Well, we got an extra bedroom, fine." And then her other friend, I don't know her
No,
name.
that time they didn't stay at your house.
That's right. Yes.
No, they
They
didn't.
stayed with you.
They stayed in a hotel in Mississauga, like near where I live, because I said they could stay at my house, but then they chose to stay in a hotel. Like, I feel like maybe because it was awkward. I don't know.
They stayed for the
I had
C&E
never
thing.
met Sherelle before. I had met Janae before this, but I had never met Sherelle, and I think she felt a little bit weird about it.
This was where Sophia's like, "Hey, can we take Janae and this girl I don't know to Montreal
Sherelle,
with us?"
yes.
She's like, kept trying to say her name. You might have actually said,
said
Sherelle,
Sherelle, yeah.
and I was like, "I don't know what these letters mean." Like, I was like,
That sounds like you.
and I was
Yes.
just like, "Is this a word?" And she's like, "Yes, I think that's her name." And I was like, "Okay." So what happened was they went to the concert with Diane in Mississauga.
We went in Mississauga, so I kind of just saw these guys there, but we didn't really hang out.
right? Because we took
we were
Aaron
with like
and
Aaron, Lindsay.
Lindsay.
Plus, that was kind of a
Pam.
disastrous thing for you guys
Olga.
because you were sick or you were sick.
Yes, I was sick that
You
tour.
were
I was like
sick.
sick as
Yeah,
a
she was
dog.
super
Oh my
sick.
gosh, I don't know
I
why
was
I
super
went.
tired. Had to drive Aaron back to Grimsby. I was so tired. I took a 5-hour energy drink. It did not help at all. So I'm like falling asleep. The second I got into the house, then it like woo. Then I was up and I was like, it's 4:00 in the morning. I need to sleep. And then I barely got any sleep. So we were kind of shit show there. So
I was
then
really sick.
Diane drove Jenny and
These
Sherelle.
guys had like
Wait a
the
minute.
VIP and everything. They were already in Belleville,
We
but
did
then
two, right? Toronto and Belleville.
We did Belleville.
you
and
did
Montreal
all
VIPs.
three.
Yeah, we didn't do the VIP from Mississauga.
Yeah, we didn't do one.
Oh, you're talking about VIP.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, because that was when I had that's when I told Nick that he looked like he shit his pants.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
That
That was the
was
shit his
Belleville.
pants story.
Yes, Belleville.
You guys know it. If
It's a
you've
good
been
story.
listening to this podcast, you know the shit your pants story. So then Janae and Sherelle and I leisurely went up there while you guys were like speeding to get to the VIP. And then because we knew you were going to be there, though, we
Then
were
we
like,
did like the handoff in the parking lot. Diane's like, "Here's their luggage."
no, but we met up before that with the shit fries.
Oh yes,
Yes,
the dinner.
we went
Because
for
we were
dinner.
somehow messaging you guys, and we were like, "Hey, come meet us, whatever." We were at this really crappy pizza place.
So terrible. They didn't
Do
give
not
them
go to
plates.
Belleville.
I was like giving plates out to them at the table and stuff. And
Yeah, it was like a whole thing.
lots of good inside jokes from that.
Yeah,
man.
lots of good inside jokes from that we won't
That's
say.
actually where we met Lena for the first time.
That
But
is
we didn't
true,
talk to her
yeah.
'cause we didn't
that
know
was
her.
when we thought she was Russian.
We thought she was Russian.
from Russia. Sorry.
But we thought that she had flown in from Russia
Right,
to
yes.
Belleville. We're like, out of all the places. But she was super shy and didn't talk at that point. So
Anyways,
But then we
Anyways.
found out like she can talk.
Yes.
She
yes,
just
and
was
then we
shy.
did
Yeah.
your tickets for that show because in Mississauga our tickets weren't near each other. We were like in the front row, and you guys were like a little bit
Yeah.
further back. But in
Eighth row
Belleville,
or something.
yeah.
you guys were just, like literally right in front of us, so we were like turning around and interacting during the show. And then yes, we did the handoff in the parking lot. I gave you Jenna and Sherelle and all their things, and I went and drove home by myself, I think.
And then I was just like, "Hello, lady I've never really met before. You have a driver's license? Awesome. I'm really tired. Please drive us to Quebec." Janae drove. And I said, "Before I fall asleep, the GPS does not recognize this, so please follow the MapQuest directions that I've printed out." And then I wake up and,
And
we're
I'm
like,
sleeping because I'm
I
so
was
sick.
so tired because I crashed from that energy drink. So then I look around and we're in some industrial park. I was like, "Hey guys," they're like, "We're in Montreal, but they can't find it." I'm like, "What did you do?" So then luckily I had a BlackBerry at the time, so I was able to use the GPS on that to figure out how to get there. Yeah, so we were tired.
And then we briefly saw each other on the cruise, but we didn't obviously room together, nor
Hang
did
out.
we.
Oh yeah, we hung out.
because at that, yes.
Kind
We
of.
there was the night
Briefly,
that I was
you got
super
drunk, and I was like,
you
okay,
guys were like, "What the
crazy."
hell?"
Who
But
lost their purse? Was it
Janae.
Janae. But she didn't really lose her purse.
it wasn't really lost at that
She
time.
gave it to Chelsea or something.
Yeah,
But then,
Chelsea had it
and
the
then
whole
she
time.
actually did lose her purse.
Like the next day when she was sober. Anyways, yeah. So we kind of hung out. Well, I don't remember a lot of that.
Oh, shocking.
She definitely did not. We're just like, "Ooh, Diane seems a bit drunk."
We even showed her pictures. to like jog.
I don't
is that
remember
the
taking
sausage
those
pizza
photos.
thing?
Yeah.
Okay. We weren't there for that.
You
but we
weren't there
heard
for
it.
that,
Yes,
but
there was video.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyways.
Yeah.
And then
I'm feeling like people might have seen that video.
maybe.
No. Yeah,
And
it's
there's if I don't
There's something.
I don't know
I'm
if
sorry
people,
that Lydia looks super confused and like.
I don't know the sausage pizza story.
I don't know if people who follow this podcast know this. I used to run a website that was called the Backstreet Noise Project.
I didn't even know
I
this.
remembered, yeah.
And it was supposed to be like a comedy like website. We'd had like blog posts and stuff. People gave less of a shit about it than people who give a shit about this podcast. I feel like it's because I'm just like not well known enough in any fandoms, so it's just like people don't give a shit what I
Diane
do.
likes to blend into the walls.
Yeah.
And be quiet.
So anyways, there was like a few people who followed it. Anyways, that's how I knew Jenna and like a few of these other people.
We wrote a piece.
we did
Did we? Yeah, about our experience.
later,
one of the
way
biggest
later on,
experiences.
that's when the
So
website
you
was
used
done.
to run a Backstreet Boy comedy show.
website.
Website.
It was like a blog.
It was
What
like a blog.
What was like?
Backstreet
Did you dress
Noise.
up as a Backstreet Boy?
So we
Like-
just wrote
No.
like we wrote like humorous album reviews. We wrote like
There was another like humor.
I had like a
website
big
before.
thing where I would like rewrite the lyrics to like songs to make it funny.
Lydia used to
God,
do
I do
that.
all the time. That's fabulous.
That was like Lydia's
And-
jam.
Then it evolved to like we made up weird scenarios involving the Backstreet Boys, and we would write like these like little like
fake
scripty type things. Like Nick said this, then Brian said this, like imaginary sort of scenarios. Like put them in these weird situations.
Oh, neat.
And then we started doing weird videos because we actually met up, all of us, and then we started doing weird like funny videos and posting them up there. Nobody gave a shit about this, like ever. I used to try to run contests and stuff. No one would enter. Like,
People just didn't know that it existed.
oh, we had a Twitter account and all this stuff.
Was it
Anyways.
on Live Daily first, or
Noise with
We
The
had
Dark
and
Side?
we had a thing on Live Daily
Yeah.
and on TDS. We had a whole
Yeah.
thread where we would post like funny stuff. We had all these like running jokes about like
Yeah.
I don't know, something about a
remember this.
taser. I don't even remember it all.
How did you spell Backstreet Noise?
The regular way you spell noise.
There's apparently an artist that has this.
It's weird. It's the Backstreet Noise Project. Anyways, it's fine. That's not important. We were recording this video.
You on Blogspot?
Yes.
Oh, look at you guys.
Isn't it cute? Anyways, a lot of it, I don't know, it's very shitty. Like this was 2009. Like it was
2009.
Yeah.
Your last post was in 2013.
Yes, because I tried to bring it back at one point, but then
2010 to 2013.
nobody cared.
Okay.
Anyways,
Well, I'm sorry I
We
didn't know it
care,
existed.
G.
we recorded
You
this
did
video
care. You
on the
did
cruise,
notice, 'cause
and
we
I
wrote
was
a thing.
screaming about how I didn't like sausage on pizza because I was kind of drunk. And then this girl was like, I like Nick's sausage. And then we were all like, everybody likes Nick's sausage. And it was like a whole thing.
It was very entertaining.
Whatever.
You might be on there because we wrote a little.
Shockingly, these guys like were still wanting to be friends with me after that.
Honestly, you presented yourself very normal. So
I know, exactly.
I was just like, why does Diane want to hang out with us? We're the weirdos. So like,
But then we didn't see each other for like maybe a year, I would say. Because the next time I remember seeing you guys was in 2012 when Nick came to the CNE. I don't think we saw each other between that cruise in December 2011 and the CNE in August 2012.
but that would have been like 6 to 8 months. I don't know, maybe.
I don't know. I feel like we've seen each other before then too.
Well,
no?
if he
At
did,
what?
So
if
after the revival, we didn't see each other.
No, I'm not. The cruise, not Revival.
Okay.
I don't know if there was.
I
no
don't know about
events,
that.
Maybe.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think there was events. And so then we all went to the CNE thing because
Okay,
Janae
maybe.
came up
Because
again.
we used to do backstreet dinners with some of our other Toronto
Yeah.
area friends, but I don't think
I was
Diane
not
friends
invited.
with us. No, I think you just.
You probably weren't even in the fandom. On the forum. Were you on the forum?
I was on Live Daily with you before you even friggin' met Chinzia.
No, the Backstreet Forum.
Oh, no.
Backstreet
That's
Fish
where
Out.
the Southern Ontario
No.
people were getting
Yeah.
those things
You
from.
think I paid money to be on the Backstreet Boys fan
So,
club?
Diane, it's
Please.
really your fault that you weren't invited.
Anywho,
I
so
wasn't there either, D. It's okay.
Yeah.
That's Chinzia's fault.
And I feel like that's probably when we met Lydia because
I was gonna say, when did we meet?
Janae
I met you before.
and
Yes.
Sherelle stayed at your
they
house
stayed
and
at,
you were
so this is
living
it.
there.
So
at that time.
They're like, hey, remember Jenna that we went to Montreal with? Can she stay at your house? I'm like, yeah, that's fine. They're like, okay, she works for the FBI. Please fill out all of your personal information and your SIN number and stuff. And I was like, all right, here you go. And I'm like, should I be sending all this information? I'm like,
and we were hanging out at
so they were at our house.
Franco.
Yeah.
And you were living there at that time.
Yes.
I remember because you and
You've
Kenny
only been married for 5 years.
were trying. No, they were just engaged,
Yeah.
and they were trying to win the wedding at
that was that
Wildwater
weekend.
Kingdom.
That's why I was late to the concert, and you didn't go to the concert because it was the Wild Waterworks wedding.
Yes.
Oh.
Do you not recall that?
Okay, was this the one we made the video? Or was
We
it
made
actual-
the video. It was the actual event where you had to go down to Wild
that was
Waterworks.
BS.
That was that weekend. So I was like, well, this is incredibly awkward that I have Jenna staying here, but I can't take her to the concert because I have to go to Lydia. I'm supporting Lydia and her thing.
Oh yeah, that
And
was,
like Jen and Sherelle went. Did they drive?
I drove them. So
You drove to Hamilton?
Yes.
Yes. So we had Cora's. We had breakfast at Cora's.
Yes. So I picked up Jenna and Sherelle, dropped them at your house in Hamilton, then went back home, came back. We had lunch at Cora's.
Did we do Niagara Falls that time too?
Yes, but
Yes.
and then but this is when we went to the CNE.
Yes.
I might have stayed at your house.
You
one
must
night.
have stayed over. Then
Yeah.
you would have taken the girls because I was like, oh, this is
Yeah.
weird for you to come from Mississauga. So I think we just must have had a big sleepover. Then they went and we were busy doing, I was dressed as a banana. We did our thing.
Yes, I was. Yes.
So then right after that, you guys tied for first place on that, which
was
they ended
such
up
BS.
eventually losing because of technicality.
Because I remember
then I got in my car and drove directly to the CNE with my banana
Yes.
costume.
No, but the catalyst of all of our friendship was, so we went to the CNE thing. We had this weekend together. It was actually really fun. We all agreed that we had a great time. And then that's when we had our theme song. Remember? We don't even have to try. It's always a good time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Carly
Yeah.
Giuseppe over there.
Yes.
Yes. And then these guys were like, you have to come to New York with us. And I was like, I don't know. I don't do that.
And they travel.
And they were
And
like,
then
they were like, you just come. Da, 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 da. So then I was actually messaging that. We used to have an email thread back in those days where we'd
Was it
literally
Gmail
just
thread. Yes.
message each other via email, and there was like hundreds of emails.
Once you hit 100, Gmail's like, nope, starting a new email. So that's how it kind of.
Anyways. And so I was like, okay, seriously, what's your plan? And they were like, we're going to drive through the night and not stay at a hotel and just sleep in the van. And then
this is the time we did not know that Diane obviously likes to
we
sleep
didn't
at
know
nice
each other that well.
hotels.
Diane has standards.
She
Yeah.
has
We
like
have
at
no
least a
standards.
3-star hotel.
Sophia and I
didn't
have
know-
gone to New York City many times on the Death Bus, aka
We did not
Greyhound,
die.
and we would
Knock on wood.
go in the middle of the night, go spend all day, then get on the bus and come back. So this time we decided we were going to drive because Nikki and Jen were coming with us too.
Yes.
But their plan was to not get a hotel at all and just sleep on the streets.
Okay, I would like to tell you the reason why is because the Backstreet Boys were doing Good Morning America, and it was at 5:30 in the morning. So we're like, why are we going to get a hotel if we have to camp out to go see them anyways? Because it's not like you can just waltz in at 5:30 and get front row.
Right.
So why would we do that and then get kicked out of the hotel at 11 anyways? So by the time this thing's over, maybe you sleep for an hour, then you're getting kicked out of the hotel. Hotels in New York City are very expensive.
Yes.
So, but then that was when we were going to leave like the night before and just go straight there. That was it.
We
But
still
then-
did that.
But then the boys announced
A
they were
VIP.
doing a VIP event on the nighttime the day before.
And then Kevin came back that
And
day.
Kevin was coming back to the group, we found out.
Yes.
So we're like, hello, we're just going to leave earlier. So we left like really early.
we left at like midnight.
We left at
on-
midnight because originally we weren't going to leave until later on that day. So let's say it was the Thursday. Let's say Good Morning America was the Friday. It would have been the Friday. So we weren't going to leave until like midday on Thursday, get there at nighttime and go straight to Central Park, camp out and do the thing. So we didn't need a hotel room. Then they announced, hey, Kevin's coming. We're doing this private event. It's on the afternoon on the Thursday. So we're like, well, okay, we're leaving at midnight and we're going
so then
straight
that's
there.
when Diane's like, okay, I'm coming now. I'm
no,
gonna
no.
pay.
Then
No,
at that
no,
point,
no,
then we
no.
decided to get a hotel
Oh, they
room.
did the $100 one. Oh, sorry,
They're
they did
lying.
They did
They're
$100
lying. They still
one.
weren't going to go to a hotel. They're like, we're going to leave at midnight. We're going to drive through the night. Then we're going to get there. We're going to go to this thing, and then we're just going to sleep in Central Park. And I was like, nope, not doing it. No, thank you. I don't sleep on the streets.
Okay.
Whatever.
Right.
Right.
And we're like,
A
Diane's a
VIP.
driver though, so
And
I
then
felt like we
yes, Chinzia was like really insistent that like she really wanted me to come. So then she was like,
Sophia doesn't drive, by the way.
yeah. So then she was like,
Falling out, geez.
I'm just
That's
saying
okay.
this is part of the story.
I feel like we've mentioned that before.
Yeah, we've mentioned it.
She lives in Toronto. It's a different world over there. Like better transit.
She was
A
like,
whole new world.
she was like,
Kinda
if we get a
weird now,
hotel,
Lydia.
would you consider coming? And I was like, if we got a hotel, then I would come. And then at the same time, the Backstreet Boys announced that if you bought tickets to this VIP event, you would get to the front of the line at GMA. So I thought I was like, guys, listen, we'll buy these tickets. That way we'll be able to sleep we'll get a hotel room and actually be able to sleep in it. And then still go to the front of the line. We won't have to camp out because we'll have these VIPs from the day before, which they were like, yeah, we're going to do that. And then
Which
they didn't.
We 100% knew we were still going to camp out.
Yeah.
I
We
know.
did. We just neglected to tell Diane that part.
I didn't
But
camp
I
out
could have
though.
sworn that because they had like $100 one, the $100 like
Yeah.
VIP. That's the reason why you came.
Yeah.
She
Because
wanted
you
the
guys
cheap VIP.
convinced me that we would get a hotel room and that we would sleep in it and not camp out.
I don't remember that.
I might have been on the convincing.
I did not say that.
Chinzia tends to leave out certain truths.
You were
when
on
it
the
comes
email
to
thread.
Remember the Backstreet Boy cruise? Well, it's only gonna cost $1,000. I was like, oh, that's a great. And then I pay for it, and then you're like, well, you gotta get there somehow. Well, you gotta, airplane. Oh, well, we gotta stay over the night before to make sure we don't miss the cruise.
Okay.
Well, how do you think you're gonna get to the boat? The boat's really far away. We gotta pay for the taxi. And I'm like, Chinzia, this has become a $2,000 trip.
It was not a $2,000 trip.
It was
We
like-
have
so
Leonardo
Chinzia
DiCaprio.
does this thing where she just likes to not disappoint you.
I
by
feel
telling you
like
all
she
these
left
facts.
out information. Anyways, but it was fine. I slept in the hotel. I was fine.
She did, yes.
Yeah,
and
so
and
you-
Sophia
yeah,
and
there
I
you go.
slept in Central Park because that's how
That's
we
fine.
roll.
It all worked out in
But
the
I
end.
feel like that was our bonding
That was- yes.
experience.
And then
because
we-
we had to drive
Bond.
10 hours.
You know
to
the
New
story.
York
You
and
know
And then
why?
when we were coming back, it was just because our other friends took the bus back. And then I
Yes,
feel like
yes.
this
You know
was,
why?
yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I
So-
remember what I was going to say about Lydia was I had stayed at your house, I think, after we got back from New York.
Yes, because it was
And
like 3:00 in the morning.
That's when Lydia and Kenny that day found out that they didn't win the Wild Waterworks thing, and they were like so pissed off.
I was so pissed.
And I was like, "Oh man, poor Lydia." But I that's the first memory of you that I have.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
So I didn't meet Lydia before that. I could have sworn I met
You
before
might have.
that.
Well, if you were at my house at any point in time.
Yeah.
I feel like you guys.
Because I think we had
I feel like I slept
sleepovers.
over
We had
for a
sleepovers
while,
and
yeah.
stuff. We had it like with the friend group.
Aaron
Yes.
like almost broke your sink.
Yes,
Oh,
that
yeah.
was
So I feel like I met
right
you at
because
one
we went
time.
on the cruise that one time,
Yeah.
and then that when we share the cruise, the four together. Yeah, so you had been over quite a few
Yeah,
times.
so I feel like I met you before.
So Lydia would have met Sophia just because Lydia was living in the house as well.
Yeah.
So
but I don't
I don't,
recall.
I can't remember the first memory of Sophia. Like,
I don't recall right
the
now.
sun burst through the clouds.
I don't recall.
well, it's been
Farted
like
Skittles. And there was
I feel
Sophia.
like I've always I've
so
known
you've
Lydia
probably
for a while,
known her
so-
for like 8 years, maybe.
Yeah,
because
I
we've
feel
known
like
each
I've
other
known
10
you
years.
for a
Oh
while.
my god, has it been that long? Oh my
Yeah,
god.
like it flew by the time. Yeah.
Yes, because Sophia and I used to hang out a lot more first when Diane and then we slowly integrated Diane into the friend group.
Yes.
They did.
Yes, and then she just stayed. So
And then I somehow hung out with you guys.
'cause
Well,
you're
we
part
just
of
used
the
to
team.
see you because
Yeah.
you lived at the
Yeah,
DeFranco house.
yeah.
And then Chinzia had like birthday parties and
Yeah.
you know
And you
things
invited
like
us
that.
to your wedding.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
they
feel
were at
like,
your wedding.
you know.
Yeah, we were at her wedding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Good times.
See? So there you go. That's
Friendships that
the
last
very
a
long
lifetime.
origin story of this.
Oh my god, it was like an
friend group.
hour.
I hope
Um,
you enjoyed that because you requested it. So
And that, like, guys, that only brings you to like 2012. Like,
Yeah, seriously. God,
So we
there's
have,
so
like,
much more. after
7
that.
more years of shenanigans, and like as the years have gone by, we just hang out more and more and more.
More shenanigans happen.
I feel like it wasn't until 2013 that we decided that we were like friends and not just Backstreet Boys friends.
Except when we're at the
People were
border,
even
because
telling
we would
us
go to the
that.
border on road trips and stuff like that, and they're like, "How do you know each other?" We're like, "Oh, through the Backstreet Boys, we're friends." And then Diane's like, "Guys, I
We're
think at
friend
this
friends."
point we're friends and not Backstreet Boys friends." We're like, "Okay." She's like, "So when we go to the border, we are just going to say friends."
Oh,
And we're
but
like,
did we
do
not?
mention the Backstreet Boys?
Oh, but did
and
we?
We're like, okay. So Diane's driving and she's all smug and she gets to the border
That
and
was
they're
like, way later. Though.
yeah,
I
this
was
is
like,
probably like maybe only 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But she was just like, they're like, yes, how do you know each other? She's like, we're friends. And he's like,
both of
and
us
then
were
we're
like,
and then they're like, yeah, that's nice. How are you friends? How do you know each other? And then we're like the Backstreet Boys. Diana's so mad.
She hated it so much. It was great.
Oh God! This is your reminder to apply for a Nexus card, guys.
Yes.
Because,
Oh, God.
you all need to get one because
I can't because like
I got
I doesn't
approved.
want my retinas and fingerprints with the United States government.
I'm sorry. Are you planning on committing major crimes?
I just want an open option in case I have to.
Well, your eyes already
your
watering.
one eye
Just keep
open,
one
kid.
of-
And you just admitted it on a podcast.
No.
Edit this part.
No. Anyway, so yes, many, many years of shenanigans and fun times. These are my peeps.
Yeah.
Even though we live in 3 different cities,
Oh.
we
Still
see
make
each other
time for
often.
each other.
So nice.
And this podcast has also really helped with the thing because we're
Cementing the friendship.
It's really helped
Definitely.
us get Lydia into the group. We've been
Yes.
trying for so long.
Here's
because
the
Lydia
thing, I
like,
didn't
I
want
have
to-
a husband, I have a fiance, I have a husband, I have
No.
to
I
spend
have no
time.
life now. I can't.
Listen, I didn't want to intrude on your friendships because this is like
we invited you.
I know, but like this is like a thing that I've always had where I'm just like I don't have friends of my own. They're always friends of Chinzia's, and I'm
But
like the
they're
tag
all
along.
your friends.
But, like,
Gina's
yes.
your twin. Like,
But like I feel like it's like here Lydia, I feel sorry for you because you're stupid and ugly and you smell. Have some friendship.
buddy.
I know, but just like anyway. it's
Okay,
just-
first of all, Lydia is not ugly. I don't know what she's painting
And I
herself
s-
out
and
to
I
be.
shower
She's
every
the
day,
prettiest
guys.
one. Thank you for showering.
Okay, no problem.
Yes. You have always been one of my best friends.
Oh, yeah, you know,
Obviously.
Maya.
So
so
if you're my
sweet.
best friend, anyone in my friend group is part of your friend group too. So I don't.
suppose,
It's
yeah.
not like they're my friends and Lydia can hang with them. It's like you are my best friend, so my best friends in this room.
My heart.
We are all best friends together.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So,
But
yes.
that's why I didn't
It
want to
doesn't
come in.
matter what age. You guys are all 3 years younger than me.
I
Like,
know.
Literally
What-
the same
and
You're
age,
all
and
the
you
same
always
age.
forget that we're the same age.
I always feel like Diane's older because she has big brain. You know, like it's I don't know. It's funny, yeah. But
That's
yes,
all
but
good.
Sophia.
I just
and
feel like
Diane are the same
Sophia
age.
and
So
Lydia are
awesome.
just so similar in personality
They are.
and hairstyle. They both have long hair and stuff. So I just feel like, and Diane and I feel share a brain sometimes.
Yeah,
And stuff. So
that happens.
it is what it is. But it doesn't matter how old you are because we're all still friends.
Yes.
Friends
Forever.
forever.
Saved by the Bell.
Saved by the Bell.
Right, of course.
All right.
Oh, she never watched Saved by the
Anywho.
Bell.
I did watch Saved by the Bell. What? Stop lying.
So then how do you not know Friends Forever?
It was their part of. It was
That was their
podcast.
band.
Casey Kasem.
Come on.
Oh, you know what?
Diane.
We forgot at the beginning of this episode we were going to do some shout outs.
Guys, I know all of our Christmas cards have been written.
Isn't that a miracle?
Wow,
We're
they're
so
the magic
good.
of podcasting.
I just
Writes
love the
itself.
message you wrote on this one, Lydia. It's
Thank
so
you.
nice.
Did you like
So-
the penis doodle?
Yeah.
So beautiful. Anyways, just a shout out to some of the people. Like there are some people that might have still sent in requests, but I just want to give a shout out to Jennifer. Do we want to say last names? Let's not say last
No,
names.
let's
An
not.
initial.
Jennifer from San Diego.
Oh,
That's
That's
good.
good. That's
Yes, so she has listened to every single one of our episodes.
Yeah,
and
Jennifer.
Jennifer,
she
you're a
comments
rock
on
star.
our Facebook, so thank you so much.
Didn't she win one of our contests
I
too?
think she might have.
She did win a contest. Thank you.
Yes, she did. Yes, Stephanie.
Stephanie also listened to all of our
Ooh,
episodes.
Yes.
Thank you, Stephanie.
So-
You're a
and
rock star.
She had and a shout
you,
out to her
Steph.
6-year-old daughter Serenity.
Serenity.
Then Meg from West Virginia.
Hey,
West
Meg.
Virginia, Mountain Mama.
Do you know Janae? We talked a lot about Janae. She's also from West Virginia. Maybe they know each other.
Oh, maybe.
Wait. Okay. Janae meets
Meg.
Steph.
Meg.
Meg. Sorry.
Why are you
Part of
sound
my
like a
Happy
goat?
Mail exchange.
Why are you like a goat?
Melody from Newfoundland.
Hi, Melody.
Melanie.
And Ma Angelica from the Philippines, guys.
Wow.
People
Thank
like
you.
internationally listen to our podcast. I think that's
so, so
amazing.
much. Without the fans, we couldn't
Oh
do
no!
it
You know
without
who else
Thank you.
messaged us? Karen. Karen has been with
Karen
us
from day one.
from
practically.
day one, guys.
Thank you, Karen. You're also a rock
Karen's
star.
like the
We
MVP.
appreciate you.
Yes. Woo!
Karen.
Yay,
We
Karen.
appreciate all the listeners.
And yeah,
Gina.
who
And
never
Paula.
comments or calls, and Paula,
And Audrey.
Audrey, yes.
Yes,
You know.
girls.
Yes.
Yes, girls. Thanks
And
for
then
being super
who's that guy? Tony.
Tony
Tony as
comments
well.
and gives us suggestions.
Tony's given us a couple
Tony.
things.
Brian Jansen was
Yes.
a
Hi,
listener who we had on the
Jansen,
show.
thank you.
Cutie Basin.
Yes.
Does he listen?
Cutie braces. No,
Brian's-
he does not listen.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sarah from Who the Backstreet.
Yeah.
Sarah,
Our first
you're a
ever
rock
interview
star
this year,
as
and
well.
hilarious person. And thank you so much for your friendship because you were amazing. And yeah,
Chinzia's gonna start crying, guys.
She's got
Chris Kirkpatrick here.
Okay.
Anyways, just Merry Christmas,
Merry Christmas
to
Happy
everyone.
holidays.
Happy holidays.
Thanks so much for
Do you want to
listening.
sing the song?
Merry
Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Happy
holidays. I'd just like to say that the Backstreet Boys put out their list of
Holy
Christmas
shit.
songs. Last song, sorry.
And I would
And,
like to say that
they
I
asked
actually
for
texted
suggestions.
2 and they chose 2 of mine.
I also suggested Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and for some reason they didn't include it on their list.
Shocking.
And the 2 that they put on the list were Christmas Time Again and the Jonas Brothers Like It's Christmas.
You know what I think is
And I
very
actually
hilarious
put-
about that? Is they also didn't put out their other Christmas song.
They forget that exists.
It's
I'm
Christmas
telling
Time,
you.
which I
That's
also
okay,
forget
Chinzy
exists.
also forget.
Did not know
Sorry.
it exists. I feel like there's 2 types of Backstreet Boys fans. Those who understand that Christmas Time is a song, and those who are confused as to why it's called Christmas Time Again when it was just again. So we didn't know.
The Backstreet Boys forgot they have that song.
See, there you go.
Anyways,
On that note,
it's been an hour and 10 minutes. Thanks for taking a break with us, guys.
Until next time.
thanks for listening.
Oh, bye.